You've probably seen the email. An individual buyer looking for a business just like yours. Sounds flattering, right? But behind that friendly note might be a well-trained investor team trying to buy your company at a discount. When most business owners think about selling, they imagine an experienced buyer, someone who understands their industry and wants to carry on their legacy. But over the past decade, a new kind of buyer has entered the market, the searcher. These are often recent MBA graduates or young professionals backed by private investors. Their mission? Find one good company to buy, run, and eventually resell at a profit. It's a model called a search fund, and it's become one of the fastest growing buyer types in the lower middle market. Now, not every searcher is bad news. Some are genuine, capable operators. But here's what sellers don't realize. They're trained to negotiate like professionals, and they're using playbooks built to extract maximum value for them, not you. Searchers target a specific kind of business, profitable but owner-dependent, between $1 and $5 million in EBITDA, often family-run with stable cash flow and loyal staff. In other words, businesses that are great, but not big enough to attract institutional buyers. The searcher's pitch sounds personal. I'm not a private equity firm. I'm looking for a legacy business I can grow. It's designed to lower your guard and make you feel comfortable sharing information early. But remember, many of these buyers are backed by investor money. Every dollar they save on your deal increases their returns. That's why you'll often see them asking for early access to financials before signing an NDA, offering friendly valuations based on selective metrics, proposing heavy seller financing or earnouts to reduce their risk. Their goal is to secure exclusivity, to get you emotionally committed before you've tested the market. Once you're locked in, they'll start adjusting assumptions, citing new findings or market feedback. Suddenly, your $5 million business is worth 3.8. The truth is, you don't have to play that game. When you have professional representation, you control the process, not the buyer. A skilled broker creates competitive tension, manages disclosures, and ensures every serious buyer operates under equal conditions. Selling a business is not about finding a buyer. It's about finding the right buyer under the right terms. If you've received one of those friendly searcher emails, or if you're thinking about selling, pause before you reply. The best way to protect your business is to know what it's truly worth. Use the link below to start with a confidential valuation or readiness assessment. If a buyer tells you they ran the numbers and your company's worth less than you thought, don't panic. They might not be doing math. They're playing a psychological game. Every business owner knows the feeling. You share your financials and the buyer comes back with a valuation that seems way lower than it should be. Most sellers assume it's just a difference of opinion. In reality, it's often a deliberate strategy called anchoring, setting a low reference point early so every future number feels reasonable by comparison. Professional buyers, especially searchers, are trained in this. They know the first valuation discussed tends to shape your expectations for the rest of the deal. Let's say you think your business is worth $6 million based on earnings and comps. A buyer offers $4.5 million and says, that's what the market is paying. Even if you push back, you've already been pulled toward their frame of reference. Then comes the recast game. Buyers will adjust your numbers, sometimes legitimately, sometimes creatively, to justify a lower price. Common examples include calling key owner salary a replacement cost, excluding add-backs like one-time projects or consulting revenue, inflating normal working capital needs, or using selective comparables from slower growth industries. Each adjustment might look small, 50,000 here, 100,000 there, but stack them together and you can lose a full turn of EBITDA value. And here's the part most sellers don't realize. Once that lower anchor is established, even competing offers get filtered through it. You might start thinking, maybe 4.8 million isn't so bad after all. That's the psychology of undervaluation. The solution isn't to argue emotion with emotion, it's to ground the process in objective, market-tested data. When a broker represents you, we don't rely on one buyer's spreadsheet. We reference verified transaction databases, industry comps, and the same benchmarks lenders and investors use to underwrite deals. That means if someone claims the market multiple is 3 times EBITDA, we can show real data from closed transactions demonstrating 4 to 5x for similar businesses. When a buyer tries to recast your financials, we can separate true normalization from value manipulation. The result? Instead of reacting to a buyer's number, you're controlling the narrative with facts. That's how you keep from being anchored and how you protect the value you've built. If a buyer's offer feels lower than expected, don't just accept their math, understand it. I'll help you see what your business is really worth in the current market. Use the link below for a private, data-driven valuation review. What if I told you some buyers use your own money to buy your business? That's the hidden power and danger of seller financing. Seller financing sounds friendly. The buyer offers, "We'll pay you most of the price over time with interest." It feels like trust, and sometimes it's the bridge that makes a deal happen. But here's the truth. Seller financing is leverage. It's a tool buyers use to shift risk from them to you. When a deal closes with a large seller note, the buyer isn't putting much of their own capital at stake. They're using your business's future cash flow to pay you off. If everything goes right, you'll get paid. If things go wrong, you become their bank. We've seen 3 common traps. 1, the illusion of security. Buyers promise the note is secured by the business, but if the company struggles, its assets might already be pledged to a senior lender. You're last in line. 2, the control shift. Once the deal closes, you no longer control daily operations, but your payout depends on how well the buyer runs the company. If they miss targets or drain cash, your payments stall. 3, the retrade setup. Buyers agree to favorable terms up front, then later say, "The bank didn't approve it. Can you extend or reduce the rate?" You're pressured to accept because the deal feels too close to walk away. None of this means seller financing is bad. In fact, when structured properly, it can attract qualified buyers, bridge valuation gaps, and provide steady income with good tax treatment. The key is structure and leverage balance. A healthy deal often caps seller financing around 10 to 20% of total consideration, secured by specific assets and backed by clear default clauses. You also need performance triggers. For example, acceleration rights if payments are missed, or step-in rights if the business falls behind. And always ensure the buyer has real equity in the deal. Skin in the game equals accountability. When we advise sellers, our role is to separate smart risk from unnecessary exposure. If financing is part of the equation, we negotiate the terms as aggressively as the price. Because at the end of the day, the best deal isn't just what you sell for, it's what you actually collect. If a buyer's asking you to help finance the deal, make sure it truly helps you too. Before you agree to any terms, let's talk through how to protect your payout and reduce your risk. You'll find the confidential link below. If you've ever felt like a buyer's due diligence checklist never ends, it might not be by accident. Some buyers drag it out on purpose to make you tired enough to take less. You've accepted an offer, then the requests start coming in. A few documents, a couple clarifications, then another round, and another. Before long, you're drowning in spreadsheets and emails wondering, when will this end? Welcome to due diligence fatigue, a tactic that experienced buyers use to gain leverage once you're emotionally invested in the deal. Here's how it works. Information overload. The buyer keeps small, detailed items, customer aging by month, vendor contracts, 3 years of payroll tax returns. Each request sounds reasonable, but together they consume your focus and patience, the small adjustment stage. Halfway through diligence, maybe your receivables look high. Maybe an old lease isn't documented perfectly. Each point becomes a reason to adjust the price just a bit. The clock pressure. By now you've told employees, your spouse, maybe even your account feels close. That's when they push the hardest, knowing you're tired, emotionally attached, and more likely to concede. It's not that diligence itself is bad. Legitimate buyers need transparency. But when diligence becomes never-ending, it's no longer about discovery, it's about negotiation through exhaustion. That's why having a broker manage the process changes everything. A professional intermediary creates clear document lists and deadlines before diligence begins, uses data rooms to control access and track progress, filters redundant or irrelevant requests, holds buyers accountable for timing and tone. When we run diligence, it's structured, not chaotic. Every request goes through a protocol so you can stay focused on running the business without feeling like you're being interrogated. Because here's the reality. Buyers test boundaries the moment you show fatigue. They'll say things like, if this is too much trouble, maybe we need to revisit the terms. That's code for we know you're tired. But when you have a professional buffer, someone who's calm, organized, and firm, they can't use fatigue as leverage. They have to negotiate on facts, not frustration. The difference between a fair deal and a discounted one often comes down to stamina and structure. We bring both to the table. If you're in due diligence and it feels like it'll never end, you're not alone. I've helped dozens of owners manage this stage without losing momentum or value. Use the link below to reach out confidentially, and let's make sure your process protects you. It starts with a friendly email. I'm an individual buyer looking for a business just like yours. Sounds harmless, but that message may be the first move in a playbook designed to get your numbers for cheap. Every week, business owners receive emails from interested buyers. Most look genuine, personal tone, flattering language, and a promise to keep things confidential. But if you read carefully, you'll see patterns that reveal a very different intention. These emails often come from search fund operators, MBA-trained buyers funded by investors to acquire a small business they can run and resell. Their goal is to look harmless until you've shared enough information to lose leverage. Here are the top red flags we see. 1. I'm an individual buyer, not a broker or private equity firm. That line is crafted to disarm you. It suggests they represent only themselves, but most are backed by investors who expect institutional-level returns. They just don't want you to know it yet. 2. I'm looking for a legacy business where I can honor the owner's reputation. This is emotional anchoring. They want you to see them as a continuation of your story, not a negotiator across the table. 3. I'd love to see your financials to determine fit. That's a major red flag. Legitimate buyers go through a formal process, signed NDA, broker vetting, and clear criteria. Searchers fish for data so they can decide if you're worth pursuing and what angle to use later. 4. No specifics. They'll avoid naming your industry, location, or revenue size to stay generic, because the same email was probably sent to 50 other owners that day. 5. Personal but vague sign-offs. Instead of a firm name or corporate signature, you'll see something like Best, Mark, or Warm Regards, Emily. Google those names and you'll find LinkedIn profiles titled Searcher or Entrepreneur in Residence. The goal is always the same: gain your trust before formal representation exists. If you respond directly, they'll move fast to get information, asking for revenue, cash flow, even employee count, long before you've confirmed who they are or what they can afford. That's why the best response is structure, not suspicion. When a broker represents you, every buyer goes through the same qualification process: signed NDA, financial verification, and a defined information release plan. That keeps real buyers engaged and filters out the rest. Because serious buyers respect a professional process, searchers resist it. So, if an email feels just a little too friendly or too vague, pause before you hit reply. That pause can save you months of distraction and hundreds of thousands in lost value. If you've received an email from a buyer and you're not sure what to make of it, don't guess. I'll review it confidentially and tell you whether it's legit or a red flag in disguise. Just use the link below to send it my way. Every buyer wants to pay as little as possible. Every seller wants to get what their business is really worth. The difference between those two numbers often comes down to one thing: who's running the process. When you sell your business, you're not just selling financials, you're selling years of your life. And in that emotional space, it's easy to assume the buyer is playing fair. But buyers are strategic. They negotiate deals for a living. They use data, psychology, and patience to shift the leverage their way. That's why representation isn't a luxury, it's a shield. Here's how a professional broker protects your value at every step. 1. Control of information. Without a broker, buyers ask for data directly, and you may not know what's appropriate to share. A broker builds a controlled data room, requires NDAs, and tracks every download. You share what's needed, nothing more, nothing less. 2. Buyer qualification. We filter out the lookers and lowballers before they reach your inbox. Every serious buyer is financially vetted, experience checked, and aligned with your goals before they ever see your numbers. 3. Confidentiality management. One of the biggest risks in a business sale is word getting out. When employees, vendors, or competitors find out too soon, it can disrupt operations. Brokers use blind listings and strict protocols to protect your identity until timing is right. 4. Competitive tension. The most powerful tool in negotiation isn't argument, it's options. When multiple qualified buyers know they're in competition, offers rise naturally. It's not manipulation, it's market reality. 5. Emotional buffering. Selling your business can be deeply personal. Buyers know that. A broker absorbs the tension, filtering out low offers, pushing back on unrealistic terms, and keeping discussions calm and professional so you stay focused on facts, not feelings. Representation doesn't mean losing control. It means keeping control strategically. You're still the decision maker. We just make sure the game stays fair. The buyers stay honest, and the process protects your best interests. Because every dollar you protect on the sale price goes straight to your future, not theirs. Selling a business isn't just about finding a buyer, it's about controlling the process. If you'd like to see how professional representation shifts leverage in your favor, use the link below to schedule a private consultation. The best time to defend your business value is before a buyer ever questions it. Once you enter negotiation without clarity, you're already playing into their game. Every business owner wants top value when they sell, but most don't realize how early the battle for that value actually begins. The moment you share financials, a buyer starts testing your story. They're not just looking at the numbers, they're looking for weaknesses they can turn into discounts. That's why a defensible valuation is so important. It's not about guessing a price, it's about building a foundation so strong that when buyers start pressing, your answers hold up to scrutiny. Here's how we help owners do that before they ever talk to a buyer. 1. Clarify your real earnings. Most owners see profit as what's left after taxes. Buyers see it as EBITDA or SDE, and they adjust for owner compensation, non-recurring expenses, and personal perks. We help you normalize those numbers the same way a buyer will, so you're speaking their language on your terms. 2. Identify value drivers and risks. A defensible valuation isn't just math, it's narrative. We analyze factors like customer concentration, recurring revenue, management depth, and growth potential, the intangibles that influence multiples. Then we strengthen the story around them so buyers see your value, not your vulnerabilities. 3. Benchmark against the market. Using verified transaction databases, we compare your company to real closed deals, not rumors or rules of thumb. When a buyer claims, businesses like yours sell for 3x, we can show data that proves 4x or 5x is the true range for your industry and size. 4. Pre-frame the process. When you enter the market prepared, buyers sense it. They see organized data, clear financials, and a professional valuation summary. That changes the dynamic immediately, from seller hoping for a deal to seller managing a process. The Sale Ready Index and Exit Clarity Framework were built for this. They help you understand where your business stands today, what buyers will see, and how to fix value gaps before they cost you money. Buyers respect readiness. It tells them you're not desperate, you're disciplined, and disciplined sellers command better offers. So, before you hand over a single financial statement, make sure you can defend the story behind it. That's how you negotiate from confidence, not hope. Before you talk to a buyer, make sure you can defend your value with confidence. I'll walk you through the Sale Ready and Exit Clarity tools to benchmark your position and prepare you for top value. Use the link below to get started.